Have you ever wished you could turn back time? Just 1 minute. To unsay that stupid thing, to catch that bus you just missed, to fix a tiny, clumsy mistake. What if I told you there's an app for that? But be careful what you wish for, because every rewind has a price. It all started for Ethan on a rainy city night. A single notification on his phone. Rewind code. Beta access granted. He hadn't signed up for anything, but curiosity is a powerful thing, isn't it? He opened it. The screen was black with just one line of text. Press once to rewind 1 minute of your life. He scoffed. Ridiculous. But then the app's logo, a slowly spinning spiral, began to glow. On impulse, he tapped it. The world stuttered. Raindrops hanging in the air suddenly flew back up into the clouds. Cars unturned corners. He was standing in the exact same spot, but the puddle that had just soaked his new shoes was gone. The woman who'd bumped into him was still a few feet away, approaching. It had actually worked. A slow, dangerous smile spread across Ethan's face. Later that night, the real fun began. He spilled his coffee, rewound, sent a disastrous text to his ex, rewound. Each time, the world snapped back 60 seconds, and his problem vanished. He was fixing his life, 1 minute at a time. But with each rewind, a little chill crawled up his spine. He could swear his reflection in the mirror lagged, just for a split second, its movements not quite matching his own. But who cares about a glitchy reflection when you have the power to control time? He laughed to himself. What could possibly go wrong? A week later, the app sent another notification. Usage limit reached. Subscribe for lifetime access. Price, variable. Variable? That was odd. He opened the terms and conditions, but the text was a blur of static, except for one line that stood out in perfect clarity. Payment will be processed automatically. He hesitated for a moment, but the temptation was too strong. He hit accept. The lights in his apartment flickered. Then, a low, distorted whisper came from his phone's speaker. Time is debt. Debt must be paid. Ethan laughed it off. Just some creepy sound design from the developers, right? That night, he dreamt of 1,000 clocks, all ticking backward. The next morning, something was definitely wrong with his reflection. As he brushed his teeth, his mirrored self smiled a full second after he did. He blinked, but the reflection didn't. He leaned in closer, his heart starting to pound. The reflection tilted its head, an independent, curious gesture. It wasn't copying him anymore. Just then, his phone buzzed. Rewind complete. Debt recorded. Ethan backed away from the mirror. What debt? He whispered. His reflection, now perfectly in sync, smiled faintly and mouthed the words he was too terrified to even think. You'll find out. He couldn't focus at work. Every clock he saw seemed to tick backward for a split second. The code on his monitor warped into spirals. He looked terrible, and his coworker Jasmine noticed. You good? She asked, concerned. Just didn't sleep, he lied. But as she walked away, he saw a new notification on his phone. New user nearby, Jasmine. His blood ran cold. He clicked it. Her profile popped up, showing her name, photo, and a number. Rewinds 3. She had the app too. He immediately went to her desk. Hey, Jazz. Weird question. Have you ever heard of an app called Rewind Code? She interrupted, her voice dropping to a whisper. You too? She nodded grimly. Yeah, I deleted it. It doesn't delete. Ethan's throat went dry. What happens if you use it too much? Jasmine's eyes flickered toward her own reflection in the window. Something, she said, starts keeping count. That night, Ethan tried to delete the app. He held down the icon, tapped uninstall, but nothing happened. The spiral logo just pulsed faster, like an agitated heartbeat. In a fit of rage, he threw the phone across the room. It clattered against the wall and his TV switched on by itself, displaying nothing but static. Then, a warped, echoing voice filled the room. You have rewound time 27 times, Ethan Cross. Payment is due. He screamed at the screen. Payment for what? The static flickered and an image appeared. It was him, sleeping. The footage replayed the same 1-minute loop over and over. He realized with dawning horror that the app had recorded every single rewind, every altered second, and someone, or something, was watching. His world began to unravel. Each rewind made reality feel thinner, more fragile. He started avoiding mirrors, terrified of what he might see. But one evening, morbid curiosity won. He glanced at his reflection and gasped. The man staring back looked older, worn out. His eyes were hollow, his skin pale. As Ethan reached for the glass, the reflection moved first, its hand pressing against the other side. "You think time is free?" it whispered, its voice a dry rasp. He stumbled back. "No, I just wanted to fix things." The reflection's grin was cruel. Every fix breaks something else. Just then, his phone lit up. A new message. "Your debt will be collected. 1 rewind equals 1 memory." Before he could even process the words, the screen flashed, and suddenly he couldn't remember his sister's name. He screamed, a raw, guttural sound of pure terror. Desperation took over. He smashed his phone with a hammer. He burned the pieces. He even bought a new one and tried to reset his entire digital life. Nothing worked. The spiral logo haunted him, appearing on every screen he looked at, laptops, ATMs, even digital billboards. He drove for hours, trying to escape the city, to escape himself. But as he looked up, he saw it. A faint, massive spiral, rotating slowly, backward, through the clouds in the night sky. He pulled over, gasping for air. He realized he didn't know what day it was. He didn't even know how many times he'd used the app anymore. How many memories had he paid as tribute? He returned to his dark, empty apartment. His shattered phone lay on the floor, but the screen was glowing. One final message, one last rewind, one last choice. Undo the first tap, and everything resets. A chance, a way out. A chance to go back to that rainy night and make a different choice. With a trembling hand, he reached down and tapped the spiral one last time. The world didn't just stutter, it shattered. Everything reversed at an impossible speed. His own movements, his breath, his heartbeat. The city folded in on itself like a film being rewound at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And then, silence. He opened his eyes. He was standing on the street corner. The rain was falling. He was soaked. And on his phone, a notification blinked. Rewind code. Beta access granted. He stared at it, his thumb hovering over the screen. He let out a long, shaky breath of pure relief. He didn't touch it. He let the moment pass. It was over. But then his phone buzzed again. He looked down. The message had changed. "Welcome back, Mr. Cross. Auto activation complete." The screen glowed an eerie blue. The spiral began to turn, and the world stuttered. He didn't know it, but he was trapped. Each time he thought he'd escaped, he was just starting a new loop. Each rewind had created another version of him, another ghost in the machine, each one convinced he was finally free. From high above, we can see an infinite grid of identical Ethans, all walking down the same rainy street, all replaying the same minute over and over, forever. A faint whisper echoes through the static of reality. Time doesn't forgive. It only replays. Thank you for watching this dark journey into the price of perfection. If you've ever felt that pull to change the past, maybe think twice. Hit that like button if this story gave you chills, and subscribe for more tales that explore the shadows of technology. Stay safe and see you next time.